Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm just going to dive right into it. We need to have a discussion about what's going on with SADD, sudden adult death. There's groups on Facebook that you can join where people talk about their stories. And I know you can't talk about certain things, you get banned or whatever. But it needs to be talked about, whether it's in code or in person or just the facts. But there are thousands and thousands of people dying every single day for no reason because they did something. Whether it's heart failure, blood clots, there's studies and cases of people having things going on with their nervous system. It's mainly heart issues. High school kids, perfectly fit people, just up and dying because they all did the same thing. I know quite a few people that have had it at my old job. That didn't work there, but some of my customers that died because they did it. I know a couple of people in my life that have took it and died. And I see thousands and thousands of people online say the same thing. Why is it when they bring something to us, it's swept under the rug when it's not good? Whether it's the child trafficking, that blew up, and yeah, everybody got together for like a month, and then big distraction came up. Why does stuff like that get swept under the rug when their shit is shown in the light? Why are we so stupid to forget it? Why does it seem like everybody has the mindset of a goldfish? We need to start talking about it. And yeah, they'll ban you and they'll censor you or whatever. It's the vacuum where everybody on this side talks about this and everybody on this side talks about that. We need to be out there talking to people, explaining it, not just saying, "Oh, you're stupid if you don't believe it. If you're just, you're a woke person. You don't believe it, man. You're just retarded." You need to not be like that and sit there and explain to people and show them why and how it's going on. Most of the world is under a spell of whatever, mind control. I don't believe in mind control. It's stupid, man. Both parties do it. All politicians do it. All of Hollywood does it. All governments put people under mind control. And I'm not here to argue that. You can wake the hell up and get out of it, though. Whether it's your favorite clothing line or your favorite movie, your favorite brand of ketchup, they don't have to force you to get into one line. They just have to own all of the lines to get you into it. Doesn't matter what's the thing with the Pepsi and the Coke thing. It's the same 7 or 8 families that own all of it anyway. We don't need to secede. We need to make our own economy. We need to make, I think Tim Pool was talking about this. We need to have a parallel economy. Stop using their shit. Get off Netflix. Stop using their stuff. Make our own economy. If you're a computer engineer, make your own websites, man. If you know how to do that stuff, make your own stuff. I'm tired of hearing stories over and over again. People dying for no reason. People getting locked up for no reason. People getting let out of prison for no reason. That have actually caused harm to people. People that should be in prison and they're not. Sudden adult death syndrome, or disease, or whatever they want to call it, hasn't been around for very long. But they had to bring it up. They had to make up something. I had a kidney disease when I was a little kid, and it was super rare. Nobody had ever heard of it before. And now, today, 25 years later, or 22 years later, it's like a normal kidney disease. Autism used to be pretty rare, pretty common. Cancer used to be, they used to not be so common. Cancer and autism used to not be so common. Why does America let so much nasty shit in our food? All the, what is it? red dye or Lake Red 40 or something like that, and all the dyes and all the chemicals. Why are we like one of the few countries that let all that shit in our food, and every other country has it banned? There's a correlation between what we're eating and what we're seeing and how we're acting. Society doesn't just happen out of nowhere. They push the narrative to make everybody believe that. It only takes a couple years to get it started. You plant a seed and it goes in the right direction, or the direction they wanted anyway. It's funny how, back when I was a kid, homeschooler. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. People that were homeschooled were the weird kids. They were that's not right for the kids anymore. And now it seems more and more people are doing it because they're waking up and realizing that this shit in the schools is not good for us. Teaching our kids about, you can be whatever you want to be is not good because it's not true. We need to wake up about this. We need to start talking about it. Talking to the opposition. Start talking to people you might not even like. But have these conversations now so we can get the hell away from it. Because all it's doing is destroying our economy. It's destroying our world. There's so much evil right now in the world. And we're not doing anything about it. We're sitting by. Oh yeah, it's not us, man. We don't have to worry about it. It's not, I know the truth. I know what to do. It doesn't matter if you know what to do with the truth, buddy. If you're not doing anything about it, sooner or later it's going to come after you. Evil don't stop. Evil doesn't stop because you take a break from it. It never will. That's the biggest thing right now in this world. It's evil. Well, you don't believe in evil, you don't believe in God, that's fine. I don't really care. Good people, bad people, karma. I know there's bad people, and I know there's good people. And it's not even the people, it's your... From what I understand, from what I've read and I feel, God's not like this hippie, and the devil's not the red dude with a tail. It's your emotions, it's how you act. It's spiritual, it's... I don't know how else to describe it, but God is an emotion. It's a feeling. The feeling of love, the feeling of happiness, the feeling of joy. The opposite is true with the devil. It's fear, it's anger, jealousy, envy, all the deadly sins that you always hear about. You get those out of your life, you have the devil out of your life. And God's all loving and all, caring. And yeah, that's true. But he's also just too. People fail to realize that God is all loving, but he is just. You can justly kill somebody in his eyes, from what I feel. If you see somebody harming a child, you have the right to stop that. You are just in what you're doing. And same thing holds true with him. He is just for how the way you act in this world. When you die, you'll be judged, and you'll be judged justly. Take that however you want. That's way I see it. I've done a lot of bad shit in my life, and I'm trying to make up for it. A lot of people have done really bad shit in their life. I continue to do bad stuff in my life. I fight with sin every day. But I realize it, I acknowledge it, and I try to make it better. And sitting by watching these people do what they're doing is not good. That's not just for anybody. One more thing that I wanted to talk about, and that's the weather manipulation. Everybody's all heard about that, the cloud seeding and all the other shit that's going on. I've heard about that for a long, long time. I started learning about the grand solar minimum about 4 years ago. A few people started talking about it, and I found some other people on YouTube. I'm sure everybody else knows the same people that I've heard of and listened to, or have listened to. My theory on this is we are going through a climate change where it gets really hot and really cold, extreme weather. When you hear about the ice age, ice everywhere, and certain parts, the whole world shifts. But what do I say? It can get really cold and then really hot during the summer, and then really cold, and then it's going to rain like crazy. It's going to hail. It's going to have huge ass hail, volcanoes, all kinds of crazy shit. And now they're talking about we can control the weather with global cooling. If we're going through global warming like they say, and they say that they're going to do global cooling to help it, when it starts to get cold, they can say, look, what we did worked. Even though they already know that it's already global cooling anyway. But they can just piggyback off that and say, hey, we're doing this right now, and it seems to be working, so we're going to continue doing it. That is a theory that I have on that. They can just say that they're the ones making it colder. Even though there's, a bunch of volcanoes going off, ash going up in the atmosphere, cooling the world. We're going into a solar minimum anyway. But they can just say that they did it because they have the narrative. They can make anything true. They just have to have the narrative. They just have to have the people on the news say it. Because most of the people in the world are brainwashed, and they watch the news and they say, even the Weather Channel. Everybody always makes a joke with, man, the weather, if he was right, I don't see how he keeps his job because he's always wrong. They just spew shit out. Yeah, man, hurricanes, they can track them and see all that stuff, and the rain forecast and all that. But it's just a guessing game. The weather is the weather. It can change on a dime. We have no control of that. How big the planet is compared to what we think we can do is ridiculous. I mean, they're talking about your emissions from your car or even a wood stove. You're destroying the planet with your wood stove, even though we've had wood stoves and fire pits for thousands of years. But let's go to green energy. Let's have wind turbines that take up enormous acres and acres, and that shit does not decompose. All the cement used for them. Most of the electricity that they use is diesel powered anyway. But let's ignore that fact. And solar panels. Those are, I mean, they might actually heat up the planet as much as they're absorbing. I don't know exactly know how hot they get, but I can imagine acres and acres of them. The same thing with your food. You eat too much. You are the carbon that they want to get rid of. How does everybody think that fucking Bill Gates, a couple years ago, they did studies and they did simulations on what happens if there's a giant virus that kills everybody? And he's the same dude that's talking about we need to, reduce the population. I don't think he's talking about just straight up killing people. Could be, but I think he just wants to slow people down. They don't care about us. They don't want billions of people on the planet. And it's not them. It's not the dude itself. It's not the people in power. It's the self. It's their emotions. It's the devil inside them. It's their greed. They don't want us to be around. A lot of people have beautiful hearts and beautiful souls and pure or with God. They say the last days people don't believe in God. They won't cherish what He talks about. And you look around what's going on in the world and tell me there's any God part left in it all. Even in the churches. God's not even in the churches anymore because all they talk about is feel good and give me some money. Tax write-offs, give me some money. Some of the churches are even talking about how it's okay to be gay in the church and all this other nonsense, or you could be whatever you want to be. It's total bullshit. People just follow blindly, just like at your job. Follow blindly, do as you're told. I don't pay you to think, I pay you to work. But you could have a better idea, you could have a better, more efficient way to do that job. But you're told to shut up because you're not a big wig, because you just work here. That's why we need to make our own economies, make our own jobs, work for yourself. You don't have to listen to big CEOs and woke corporate people telling you what to do. Well, you have to take this if you want to work here. How many... The flu season's over, apparently, so... Mr. Biden said. But yet, the military is still forcing people to take it. Hospitals are still firing people because they won't get it. Why? If you have like a 98% chance of living. I had it, I got over it, and I'm fine. I felt like shit. It was really weird sickness. My body wasn't accustomed to it. That's why it's not good to use hand sanitizer all the time. I get sterile, I guess, if you're doing surgery. But every day I see people every 5 minutes, man, they rub that shit on their hands. 5-10 minutes, rub hand sanitizer, kill all the germs. You need germs on your body. You need to get sick every once in a while to keep your immune system boosted. And it doesn't help with the food that you're eating, the processed bullshit that you're eating, putting in your body. It doesn't help at all. And then the hand sanitizer doesn't help at all either. Soap and water, you're good. You don't need to kill everything on your body. parasites on your skin right now. If your face ever itches, you have little microorganisms living on your face. They're there for a reason. We get sick for a reason. It's sad when people die and get sick. I understand that. I've been sick a lot of my life. But I stopped taking a bunch of shit. And I stopped eating a bunch of shit. I messed up with my keto diet. I started it about a month and a half ago, and I did it for like 3 weeks. And I felt great, dude. My acne started going away. That was mainly the bread. Like pimple on your back or whatever. Your thought, how focused you are, your clarity, waking up really early, feeling great. I know when I eat a bunch of food at nighttime and I wake up, I'm really hungry. Versus barely eating anything or eating meat at night, I wake up, I'm not that hungry. I feel great. They have this pyramid that we're believed to, that's the way we're supposed to eat. Grains are essential for your diet. Not really, man. They actually have it upside down, in my opinion, where you need protein. You need, the world is, what's that Tom McDonald song? It's a clown world. Everything is totally upside down the way it's supposed to be for us to live peacefully. And it's there by design. And when enough people wake up and realize what the hell is going on, we can turn it around. But until then, we're just getting deeper and deeper in this hole. There's no getting out of this the way it's set up. I'm just one person voicing my opinion. I can't do everything by myself. Just like I thought I could do my job, my business by myself. I can't. I need help. I have to find people that are experts in other fields. And I'm one of those people where, oh man, OCD kind of, it has to be this way because this is the way that I know it to be true. It took me a long time to realize, hey, other people have the same, it might be a different way to get there, but as long as it gets there, I guess it's good. It took me a long time to figure that out. You don't have to be alone in the world. You don't have to just be on the metaverse or online. We can have conversations in person and talk to people. Everybody I talk to about conspiracies or, I can't even talk to anybody because you're deemed crazy or a conspiracy theorist. It's not a conspiracy when it's true, when there's facts, when there's evidence, hard data that shows what the hell is going on between people with disabilities and certain medical practices they do. I love everybody in the world. I really do. No matter your skin color, no matter if you can walk or not, no matter if you have different beliefs than me. But it's really hard to sit there and try to talk to somebody and they straight up just call you crazy or racist for no reason. You're homophobic because you don't believe in homosexuality. I mean, I know it's true. I know it's real. I just don't agree with it. And that's fine. You can have your opinion. And I will still love you even if you are. But just because I don't believe in it. I love a bunch of people that believe in flat earth theory. I don't think it's true. But I still love those people and I love that they have their own opinions. It's the same thing. I know why it's happening with people. I understand it. I'm having a hard time figuring out how to wake people up, how to show people just to step back from the situation. But that has a big part of that has to do with the self. This how you feel. It's all about me kind of thing. I can't remember what that's called. It's all about me. Me. I don't know if it's greed or self-loathing or whatever. But the fact is, that's all people care about anymore. Me. And you have kids, you realize it's not about you. Well, you should learn that it's not about you. It's about your family. It's about your loved ones. It's about your friends and family. And it's even about your enemies. because those are the ones that you need to try to show the most, because they have no idea what's going on, or they fail to realize it. And at the end of the age, when all this goes down, you're going to be sad that you couldn't change people, but you couldn't show people what's going on. At the end of the age, when you're judged for what you did or what you didn't do, you need to know in your heart that you tried to help people, whether you're an enemy or your family. You'll be judged on how you treated people, how you tried to teach the Word of God. And you don't even have to start off with talking about God. You can talk about just being a good person, dude. Just sharing. Just teaching people how to be a decent person. It doesn't even have to be about God. It just has to, you just have to show people to be good people. From what I've learned through my life, the people that care and show love and compassion and sharing, they're the ones that have a joyful life that's rich in emotion and wealth. And there's people that are greedy, that have a lonely life, that are fake, that try to show off for people. That's the whole thing with the high school, trying to fit in. Don't be like that. Let these kids get bullied. Let them stand up for themselves. Let them figure it out for themselves. That's their job. Do not baby your children. Let your kid fall. Let him learn. Hey, I shouldn't touch that. That's hot. Obviously, if they're walking towards, a cliff, stop it, obviously. But there's a line where you have to just let your kids learn. Where you have to let people learn for themselves. And show them the right way. How God does with us. He shows us the way. He doesn't show us what to do. He points over there. Go that way. Go look over there. Every time I pray, I never ask God for anything. The only thing I ask Him for is just help me find a way to do it. Point me in the right direction, kind of thing. That's how we should be with our children. As God is with us, we are His children. We need to do the same thing with our children. Point them in the right direction. In 15, 20 years, when they're grown up, our society will be a little bit better. And they can do the same thing with their children. And each time, each cycle, our society will get better and better. But we've had the last 40, 50 years all about me kind of thing. All about vanity, looking pretty, showing off. Back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, is all the Victoria's Secret models were all these skinny, beautiful, fake people. Everybody on Hollywood is plastic. They're not real. Don't be those people. If you want to tell somebody what not to be, show them the people in Hollywood. Show them their favorite actors, their football players, their baseball players, their whoever. Show them that is what you're not supposed to do. You are not supposed to be a fake person in this life. You're not supposed to be all about yourself and how you look and how much money you have. That's not the point of our lives. Not the way I feel anyway. I feel our life, everybody here is for their own journey. We're all here to learn. I think the way I feel about it, why we're here, the meaning of life, coming from me, in my opinion, is each and every one of us has a different sin that we're fighting. There's some sins that I can get over no problem. I have issues with them here and there, man, but I've learned to overcome them. There's other sins that I have that I fight with every day, that I have struggled with. And I think that's the reason I'm here, is to learn how to get over that specific sin. Some might be, of the flesh, or gambling, or sloth, learning to not be lazy, learning to eat right. And how many pounds, even myself, I'm big, I'm 200 and some pounds. But how many preachers out there saying they're not preaching the Word of God, they're not teaching the deadly sins, that are 400 pounds, that are so overweight they can barely walk? And I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm simply asking, you have those kind of people telling you about God's Word when they don't even follow it themselves. And I understand people have a hard time not eating healthy anyway. That's the problem I have with churches. They all seem so in line with, they seem like they're taken over by the same entity that's taken over everything else. And millions of people follow Joel Osteen. When he's a money grabber, he's just an evil person. It's all about money and tax breaks. The best pastor, the best people in life are the ones that will give you the shirt off their back when they're dirt poor. We need to remember that, and we need to go back to that. Because our world won't get any better until everybody starts acting like that. And I'm going to do my best. I'm not saying I'm chosen for anything. I'm not going to say that, well, yeah, I am. I've had weird things that I've seen in the last couple of years, last 4, 5, 6 years that I've seen in my head. And I didn't even hear it in my head. I don't know how to describe how God talks to me. It's more of an emotion that I can hear. And I've always heard, past 3 years, or about 3 years, 3.5 years, I've always heard this almost every day. Talk to people. I need to talk to people. I didn't know what that meant. I enjoy talking to people about, things that I enjoy. Hiking, camping, hunting, gardening, stuff like that. But I hear it louder and louder. Talk to people, talk to people, talk to people. I'm not the type of person that would make a YouTube video and be out. I was very socially awkward, I guess, as a child. I was very shy. I didn't like talking to people. I tried to keep to myself. I'd rather read a book than talk to people. But I keep hearing it over and over again. Just like I was told to go talk to somebody a couple weeks ago. And I didn't do it, and I didn't do it for like 3 or 4 weeks. And every time I would pass their house, I haven't talked to these people in like 15 years. I did a couple jobs for them when I was a little kid, when I was like 16, 17. They're very Catholic, amazing people. And I kept hearing it, talk to them. And I didn't know who talk to them was. And all I could see was this giant beam, this big wooden beam. And I remember, dude, that's Andrew's house. That beam came out of a church. It was like a 150-year-old beam that came out of a church that he had built into his house, to support beam for his house. But there was no name when it said talk to him. All it was that beam. And I went there, and now I'm connected with him, talking to him. And he's invited me to church, and to help me get on to actually knowing about God. Because I know about God, but I don't know about God like I'm supposed to. I don't celebrate him like I'm supposed to, because I was never taught how to. All I knew when I was a kid is believe in God or you're going to die and burn in hell. That's all I was ever taught. You can't have this. Why? Because it's evil. They didn't explain why it was bad. They didn't explain the repercussions of doing dumb stuff in my life. And that's what I have to be for my children. I have to learn it all myself so I can go out my way and help my kids and help other people and teach them. And that's what this is about, is teaching other people, helping other people, being there for other people, going out of your way. Quit being so narrow-minded and lazy and selfish with your time. Anyway, I felt like I had to talk to everybody about that. I hope something clicked in somebody's head. But we need to fight evil. Like, fight it now. Nobody knows when God's going to come back or when Jesus is going to come back. And I think that holds true because nobody at all knows. Because it's up to us. If we go down this path, is when he comes back. If we never go down this path, we'll be here forever. We could literally make heaven on earth. We just have to fight evil and get it out of here. Stop putting blinders up and not paying attention. Quit ignoring the evil in the world. Yeah, people are evil, but what are you going to do? People are people. People are people because they're not taught how to be better people. Make it uncomfortable for people to be jealous or mad, or greedy. Make it uncomfortable for them so they'll get those emotions out of their head. That's the only way we can fight this. I love everybody. Thank y'all for listening. If you stuck by,